Sadako Yamamura, a powerful and lethal Oreo, daughter of a... Wait, what? Oh, sorry. A powerful and lethal Onryo, a vengeful spirit. Daughter of a famed but mixed-reviewed fortune teller from Izu Oshima, Japan. Before Sadako was born, sailors didn't like how her mother spent a lot of time at the beach because this is way back when having leisure time was looked down on, and you were just supposed to simply be born, work, have kids, and die. You know, the good old days. But she liked to watch the quirky foamy waves crash. People said that if you play at the beach a lot, a monster will eventually get you, foreshadowing to Sadako. Sure enough, 9 months later, she gave birth, and just as the superstition foretold, she gave birth to a monster. Not a monster because Sadako had powers that were practically impossible to control and flared in anger, but a monster in the same way that all babies are monsters. During a public demonstration of her mother's psychic powers, a journalist called her mother a fraud right in front of everyone. How rude, SMH. Sadako, who was already prone to anger due to her shortness, got upset and her powers surged. So in a fit of gamer rage, she made the journalist collapse on the floor, struck dead. Eventually, things got worse for her. Her mother passed away, and so did her hairstylist. Some townsfolk took pity on her and wanted to show her something cool to cheer her up. So they took her to an old well and told her to look inside. She peeked over but noticed a shadow right behind her. Before she could know what happened, she got bonked in the head so hard that her head cracked open. She was shoved and fell down the well, hitting the ground head first. Now, if that was me, personally, I wouldn't take that. There was a grinding noise up above until there was no light left. Her body is in so much pain that she could maybe start to imagine the amount of pain a man is in when he has a mild cold. She tried to climb the wall, but she didn't have a good enough grip and had no strength left in her. Maybe she'd have more energy if she had some G Fuel. Thanks again to G Fuel for sponsoring this video. G Fuel is... Eventually, her fingernails were torn right off, and the flesh underneath was lacerated. Still, she kept trying. Decades passed, but her spirit lived on as the area around the well was peacefully overtaken by nature. Until it got turned into a resort with a log cabin being built above the well. When someone rented the cabin, Sadako saw a chance for revenge. She summoned her psychic powers to project a curse on a VHS tape that killed the viewer after 7 days if they watched it. Now for those of you that don't know, a VHS is essentially a funny looking physical MP4.
And that's how a VHS works.
Her anger and wrath were like the tides of the turbulent sea above. As she plunged into a fury, a dark fog coiled at her feet. Suddenly, a huge tidal wave wrecked the cabin. The water from above made its way underneath and came crashing down the well on top of Sadako. When she opened her eyes again, she stood alone on a beach facing a stormy ocean. A thick black fog flowed above the water. Compelled by it, she walked into the sea and slowly disappeared into the fog. Okay, no one uses VHSs anymore. I want a modern Ring movie where Sadako puts her curse on a TikTok dance and it goes viral and takes over the world as one of those kinds of internet challenges. And once you dance, you can't stop until you die. So everyone who hasn't done the dance, they have to figure out how to save everyone else, which would lead into a giant dance battle with Sadako.